All right, everybody, welcome back. And I'm here today to reiterate a few things that I think many of our people still don't understand. A lot of our people do not get these lessons that we be looking up in this history. And I know there's other folks that's watching too, and that's fine. Y'all can watch it. I'm talking to the Aboriginals of America. And who are the Aboriginals, by the way? Who?
Clues to the identity of the first Americans are emerging in rock shelters in the northeast and southeast of Brazil. Prehistoric skulls were found buried in layers of soil 9 to 12,000 years old. They are the oldest skulls in the Americas. And this is the oldest of them all. The skull of a young woman nicknamed Luthia by scientists. Can she tell us who the first Americans were? Walter Neves is a physical anthropologist at Sao Paulo University in Brazil. He's been using a standard and reliable archaeological measure, the shape of the skull, to find out what race she belonged to. He fully expected Luthia to be a Mongoloid, but then he fed the measurements into the computer.
When we started running the computer and seeing the results, it was amazing because we realized that the statistics, the quantitative analysis we were doing was not showing just people to be Mongoloid. In fact, the analysis was showing just people as anything except Mongoloid.
The first stage was to make a three-dimensional CAT scan of Luthia's skull in order to build a replica. The cast was then given to Richard Neve of the University of Manchester in England, one of the world's leading forensic artists, to recreate her features.
That to me is a Negroid face that has all the features that you associate with a Negroid face. The proportions of the face, it doesn't say anything about it being a Mongoloid.
Was this then the face of a first American? Her reconstruction is confirmed by measurements Walter Neves has taken of all his skulls.
The first reaction was not to believe in it. But as the results, repeated so many times, and the result is exactly the same thing. They are very similar to nowadays Aborigines and Africans, and no similarity at all with Mongoloids in Asia.
So Aboriginals, I said, I'm talking to you. I want you to know who we are. Who are we? We are the indigenous Aboriginals of the Americas. We are not Africans. We were classified as Negroes, Negroid, African American, colored, and even Indian at some points. But the bottom line, the Aboriginals of the Americas are the original people of the Americas, first and foremost. And when you look at these Olmec heads, I want you to consider this. They found all of these heads buried, and they said that somebody buried them on purpose. But what if they weren't buried? What if they are just that old that when you found them, that the sediment lines have raised to that level? They don't want you to even consider that. They don't want you to take that into consideration. They want you to think automatically, oh, they buried it and this was the last few thousand years ago. No. That's not a fact. These folks lie about everything. We don't need to listen to their words about what our history is. We need to review the information and actually discover for ourselves what the truth is, because in my opinion, the fact that the heads were that deep in the ground mean they were super duper old. Then you go to places like Bonampak here in Chiapas, Mexico. And when you get there, there's another pyramid site, another pyramidal site, or whatever you want to call it. And when you get there, you see nothing but so-called black people, so-called Negroes. They want to tell you these weren't the Indians, but excuse me, because these obviously the first people that was here. Why would you ever listen to somebody who never had your best interest at heart to tell you the truth about your history? It's obvious they lying. We don't need their information. What we need is to pay attention ourselves, research this information for ourselves, and you'll get to the bottom of the mystery, okay? Because when you out here, and just like any other pyramid site on the planet, there is no place on the planet or any set of pyramids they found on the planet that did not have what they're calling black folks in it. That's our stuff everywhere on the planet. We made pyramids and we made these type of temples. You left your faces on everything, black folks. You understand? So you don't need nobody else to tell you that it's you. It's obviously you. Look at these walls. They painted these walls to make sure that even in 2022, that you can look at these walls and know for yourself that you're looking at your ancestors. It definitely is not the people who they call them Mexicans today. Or I'll say this, the people in Mexico today may be related, but that's not who these folks were. And we know they want to replace us and come into these type of temples and draw over them, recolor them, because they don't want you to know that Negroes are the original people everywhere. Just like right here with the Arawak. The Arawak are what they have said the original people of the Americas in the Caribbean, South, Central, North America. And who do they look like, y'all? Does that look like some of your family members? Because I got many family members that look just like them. I don't have no family members that look like Africans. And when they call people niggas, where do they get that term from? All right? Originally, the term nigger applied to American Indians. If you go on the Oxford definition, it tells you the dark-skinned person of any origin in early U.S., usually in reference to American Indian. But like I was saying, when you go to the pyramids, no matter which pyramids, it don't matter what continent, there are always black folks on the inside of these pyramids. And Teotihuacan is in alignment with the Belt of Orion, just like Giza in Egypt and the one in China. And when you find the artifacts inside of Teotihuacan, all you have to do is look around. Look at these are all what you would call Negroes today. Every time you go into any pyramid on the planet, you're only going to find Negroes. And if you start finding other folks, you already know they're falsifying documents. It's identity theft. This whole planet belongs to us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the Negroes. Alright? Not the people who call themselves at the top of the pyramid scheme today, because it's a scheme. Alright? But we, the Aborigines, the Aboriginals, the indigenous Aboriginals of the Americas, are the only people that you're going to see when you go inside the pyramids here on the American continent. And when you go into the pyramids on the continent of Africa, you'll see the Aboriginals of that continent. And when you go into the pyramids of Asia, you'll see the Aboriginals of that continent. And when you say Aboriginal, you're talking about Negroes. We had tribes here just like they had tribes in Africa. Like this one, the Chippewa. Alright? Or this one, the Mississippi. Both tribes from the Americas. Very much Negroes. Alright? Even all the way down to Peru. South America, Central America, North America. Negroes. Look, these are the Inca rulers. All of them were so-called Negroes. And listen, even the first European that came here and ruled over the Inca was a Negro, Charles V. That's the trick y'all don't know about, right? But listen, we're going to get it together.
The Portuguese particularly begin using the term negro or black for a wide variety of people other than people from Africa. But when they arrive in Brazil, they also use the term for the native people of Brazil. They call the Indians of Brazil negros da terra, which means natives of the land. And then later, when they begin bringing people over from Africa, they call them negros da Guiné, black people from Guinea. This term Negro is just used very commonly, interchangeably with Indio. This term Negro is just used very commonly, interchangeably with Indio.
So you might be asking yourself, why don't the public know this? Well, it's because of this. The common perception that Indians never formed a substantial portion of North America's total slave population has in part its roots in the routine reclassification of Indians as blacks that has begun shortly after the British moved toward the establishment of chattel model of slavery. Yo, they've been lying to us. And who was the original Americans? It says America originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of the Europeans born in America. We are the originals, the Aboriginals, and I need y'all to wake up and stop playing. Let's get